Good morning or good afternoon, depending where you are. My name is Darren Joseph from HEG.tax. We're the team that seeks to demystify the sometimes confusing world of international tax compliance, particularly for those who may be US exposed. Have a look at our website. We have over 2,000 articles on our YouTube channel. We have over 1,000 videos that speak to different aspects of international tax for those of you who live that international lifestyle. Today, we're joined by the one and only international tax badass, Mr. Jimmy Sexton, who is based in Dubai. Jimmy, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. I have
Okay.
my LLM, but I'm an international tax advisor.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. So how do you decide? And again, super open-ended question, but what are the factors one considers in determining where to bank for your company and for yourself personally?
Well, I mean, I think unfortunately a lot of it comes down to where you can actually get it, right?
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
mean, obviously, I think it always makes sense to do business with, the largest, most stable banks that you can, right? I mean, in order to protect your money on deposit there, and to get access to good services and things like that. I think one of the things that we're seeing is, it used to be possible to have a company in one country and open a bank account in another country, right? Or to be a resident of this country and open a bank account in another country. This has become almost impossible these days, right? I mean, most countries now banks will only open accounts for individuals and companies that are tax resident in that country, right? If you're not a tax resident, your company's from somewhere else, are just not going to open accounts. I mean, I think the only true international banking center left is Switzerland. I'm not aware of any other country at the moment that actively opens bank accounts for companies and individuals that aren't resident in Switzerland, right? I mean, I think the banking is really their bread and butter, and it's the only country that I know of. I mean, anywhere else, you're going to need to be a resident, or the company's going to have to be a tax resident in order to open the accounts. I know that there are some banks in the United States that will open accounts, for non-residents or companies that are non-residents, but they're becoming fewer and fewer.
Yeah, in the US, at least the ones that my clients, bring to my attention, when I do a deeper dive into them, they're not really banks. Again, these are just the ones that I'm aware of. I can't speak for every single one. They tend to be technology platforms that sit on banks. So then they make it quite clear in their very, very, very fine print, we're not a bank. So,
Yeah, it's very much like a lot of these currency exchange houses or money transmitters, things of that nature, that works as a pseudo bank but not an actual bank, which isn't necessarily so secure for your money.
Yeah, but going back to Switzerland, given they seem to have violated their position, their historical position of neutrality. Well, it's been twice in the last decade or so. Once in terms of the U.S., that whole thing with DOJ and Americans who were allegedly, violating or engaged in tax evasion. So there's that thing that started with UBS and just spiraled outwards and downwards. But also recently with the whole Russia-Ukrainian situation and, just basically blacklisted people for their passports. Given Switzerland's evolution, what are your thoughts going forward? Do you think its status will be what it is, or you think it's on the way down, or you think it's doing the right thing? What are your thoughts?
I mean, look, I don't think it's going to damage Switzerland, right? I mean, I think, when you look at, for example, the UBS thing, they were helping people evade taxes in the United States, right? I mean, they're helping people break the law, which obviously they're not doing anymore. I think when you look at the Russia thing, I think most Swiss banks, what they wound up doing was freezing the accounts of Russian citizens, but not actually closing them, right? Where I think most banks in most countries closed the accounts, was like, okay, money gone. I think Switzerland, as much as possible, was trying to maintain the relationships that they can with their clients, hoping that in the future they'll be able to do business with them again. But most of the banks didn't actually kick the clients out; they just froze the accounts. Not sure that in the eyes of a Russian whose money is frozen, that's much different. But
Different.
that's the situation. But I think that the advantage that Switzerland has is it's really the last true private banking center, right? I mean, it's really the last place that is offering international banking to companies and individuals that aren't resident there. So, if you're the only game in town, it's going to be pretty hard to dethrone them. So I think that Switzerland will continue to be successful. And I mean, even if you look at, for example, what it takes to open an account, even if you're talking about opening an account, let's say for a Luxembourg company in Luxembourg, it's still easier to open an account for a Luxembourg company in Switzerland than it is in Luxembourg, right? I mean, the EU's fifth anti-money laundering directive just is so difficult, requires so much due diligence that opening accounts in Europe, especially if you have a complex structure, has become super difficult, right? And I think that the Swiss take a much more reasonable approach and pragmatic approach to due diligence, and therefore, it makes banking there easier than anywhere in Europe.
Okay, gotcha.
So if you're a 6, 7, or 8-figure investor, entrepreneur, or business owner who needs a tailor-made solution from a qualified team of professionals, we can help you achieve the international lifestyle, the freedom, and even the tax savings you're looking for. Visit us at htj.tax and live that international life.